Okay, today we're going to talk about a very important subject. If you're going to go exploring, hiking, tactical applications, whatever the case may be, very important thing to consider is your shoes. And I've got 9/11 tactical boots. I've got Bates, Marine Corps boots. I've got all kinds of boots, and I've got some Brahma boots that I bought from Walmart. And surprisingly, that's one of my favorite pair of boots, is that $30 pair of Brahma boots. They're very comfortable, but now they're at the end of about a 5-year stretch of me wearing them quite a bit, and they are wearing out, and they started wearing out pretty fast, and I wore them beyond the point of being wore out because they were so comfortable and stuff like that. And they're just regular lace-up tan hiking boots. I guess you would call them hiking boots. They're not really what you would consider hiking boots, but they're hiking boot style, and kind of a mixture between hiking boots and a tactical boot. But the thing about those is, if you really get out and use them every day, if you're talking about using those Brahma boots every day, then you're going to wear them out real fast. And the idea behind that is, like these guys that hike the Appalachian Trail and stuff like that, they'll get on there and they'll wear out a pair of shoes on that trail in the course of one trip. So, I mean, everyday use and rugged use is going to wear out a shoe. So you got to keep that in mind when you buy a pair of boots. If you're going to buy a pair of boots that you're going to wear once or twice a week, and you're going to wear them to Walmart, or you're going to wear them, to church, or whatever the case may be, I mean, you're just wearing them to for everyday purposes, then they're going to last you, like I say, 4 or 5 or 6 years. So why not spend the $30 and you're not going to be out anything, and they're not going to damage your feet or anything like that. But at any rate, when you're talking about dedicated tactical or dedicated hiking boots and shoes, then I go with these, if I can hold on to them. I usually buy Merrell boots and shoes, and I have 2 pair, and I've had 1 pair for about 3 years, and I've had these for about, I think, maybe 6 or 7 months, maybe not even that long now that I think about it. I think maybe I've had these for I've had these for 6 months. I bought these in January, but at any rate, these are pretty good shoes. They're called Chameleon Prime. If you're going to look them up, Chameleon Prime, and they don't have a tongue. They're just slip-on shoes, and they're waterproof. Merrell has different designations. They have dry, WP for waterproof, different things like that. But these are dry, they're waterproof, they're also insulated. You can see that material on the inside. And let me tell you, I live in southeast Georgia, and I wore these January, February, March, and April and did fine. But May, and it's June now, it's almost July, be July in a couple days. These shoes right here are almost unbearable to wear. They're so hot. So I imagine that these won't get very much use between now and the end of the summer. But I've used them, I've abused these shoes a little bit, and they've got leather uppers. The website actually says a pig leather, and they've got a mesh behind them, and then the waterproof material behind that, and then the insulated material behind that. So it's got a super sole on it. Looks like something you would wear to the moon, but that's just it's a great shoe. There's no question about that. It's very comfortable, and it stays tight. It would seem like a pull-on shoe wouldn't be tight, but it has it's not elastic, but it's a stretchable material here, somewhat stretchable enough to get it on your feet, but then it's acceptably tight. I'm not going to say extremely tight, but it's acceptably tight. Your heel doesn't move up and down in the back of it, so it's pretty good. The sole comes up over the back, and it also comes up over the front good enough, and so it's a pretty good shoe right there. Now the other shoe that I want to show you is also a Merrell, and it's also a Chameleon. It's called Chameleon 5 waterproof mid ventilator. Now they still have some mid ventilator shoes, but they're not Chameleons. They don't make these anymore. I've had these about 3 years, and let's see, I think you get these for about $130 now. They were close to $200 when I bought them. These were closer to $300 when I bought them, and I've had these for about 3 years, and I have wore these guys a lot. And it's not on this particular shoe, but on the other shoe, the only spot on them is a little piece of that rubber right there has been chipped off by, I guess it grabbed a stick or something like that, but that's the only really wear that you can really see on these shoes. Of course, they're not as clean as they once were, but real strong soles. These soles are made specifically for hiking, carrying a pack. It's got nylon shanks in the heel. It's got a real nice padding on the inside. The nylon shanks are for support while you're carrying a pack. It's got real good insoles in the shoe that come with the shoe. Again, it's what they call pig leather, and it's insulated, waterproof, the whole 9 yards. And waterproofing comes up to right there. You can see the strap there, but you can get your feet at least down in the water without getting your feet wet. And I've never had any water come through it. I've stepped in water up over the shoe, and of course all bets are off when that happens, but that's a pretty good shoe right there, so I recommend that. I will say one other thing about this shoe. Your feet are going to stink in this shoe. That's just all there is to it, so keep some spray handy. When I first started wearing this shoe, we don't have that cold months here in southeast Georgia. Back in the cooler months I was wearing this, and when it started getting warmer, feet sweat, athlete's foot, the whole 9 yards. This is not an everyday shoe. If you buy this shoe, it's great. It does exactly what they say it's going to do. If you need this kind of a shoe, then by all means get it, but don't wear them every day. You can wear them every day till you get them broke in, but once the weather turns warm, this shoe can be overbearing on your feet. So we'll just put it that way. It does do what they say it'll do, though. I mean, you got to give them that. This shoe, no problems. Well, I will say there is one problem that I have with this shoe. These shoelaces won't stay tied. I don't have any problem with any other shoe, because you might say, learn to tie your shoes, idiot. But no, I do tie all of my shoes the same way, and I don't have any problems. But these boots have these laces, like I'm sure you've all seen and are familiar with, the round laces. But these things will not stay tied for nothing. I'll tie them up, they'll be nice and tight. I'll walk, a mile, and they'll be untied again. So keep that in mind if you care about these things. But at any rate, it's a good shoe. I recommend it. A little bit more expensive, but they're going to last a lot longer than the shoe that you would buy at Walmart or whatever the case may be. And I'm not throwing off on those things. If that's what you want, get it. I spent really I spent more money on these shoes, and that's not because I have a lot of money, but I figured about some things. You can spend a little bit of money a lot of different times, or if it's an important item, I think in the other review I was talking about the flashlight. I tried a cheap one and see if it won't last, and that'll save me money. Well, a flashlight is, I've got several flashlights in the house, so I can, if one goes bad, I can use the other. But shoes, that's an important thing. That's one of the most important things you'll wear. So when it comes to things like that, I will spend the extra money one time and have it last for a good long while. I've got shoes that I've bought for $200, $300, but I've had them for 15 years. I've got a pair of shoes that I wear from time to time that I've had the whole time I've been married, and that's 15 years. And I did spend a lot of money, and that's not out of vanity. It's just that I'd rather spend a lot of money once or twice on shoes than to spend a little bit of money 7 or 8 times, buying them every 2 years or whatnot. So when it comes to shoes, spend a little bit extra money, take care of your feet. If you're buying a specialty brand name shoe like Merrell or something like that, then you research and find out exactly what you want. And all these hiking companies and stuff like that, they'll have several different kind of shoes and tailor-made right to your feet. If you're going to run in the woods, they got something for that. If you're going to run on the blacktop, they got something for that. If you're going to walk trails, they've got something for that. If you're going to climb mountains, they got something for that. If you're going to climb Mount Everest and freeze to death, they got something for that. So do your research, and if you can swing a little bit extra money, do that. I think you'll be more satisfied than, for instance, I spent $109 on, I spent $109 on 511 tactical boots. The soles come apart a little bit. I still wear them around the house to mow the yard and stuff like that. But the insole went flat real fast. The glue come away from the material, the boot material on the outside. Just different things. I mean, I wouldn't want to spend $109 on 511 boots, every year or so. So I would spend a little bit more in order to keep the shoe longer and get more use out of it. And so I think that's worth it. And if you're in the market for a pair of boots, just I recommend Merrell, but I'm not paid by them or anything. I'm just telling you what I bought and how it's held up so far. And if you have that kind of need, I think it'd be good for you too. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you later.